Okay, so shall we start the peroxisomal oxidation? Peroxisomal oxidation, it's a modified form of beta oxidation itself. It's a beta oxidation, that is the breaking up of the chain length is happening in between the alpha and the beta carbon atom, or the second and the third carbon atom of the very long chain fatty acids. Which are the very long chain fatty acids? Those fatty acids which are having a chain length of 20 or greater than 20. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള fatty acids we call it as very long chain fatty acids, but these fatty acids being huge in nature, they cannot be accommodated in the mitochondrial matrix. They cannot cross the inner mitochondrial membrane. The carnitine shuttle cannot transport this huge molecule. So what happens? The length is first cut short into an 8 carbon compound which are known as octanoyl CoA, and all this process happens in a separate organelle. We call it as a peroxisomes. So peroxisomes are those organelles where there are other functions carried out by peroxisomes, but another important function related to the lipid metabolism is the very long chain fatty acid oxidation, where again the fatty acids, the very long chain fatty acids, are also undergoing beta oxidation itself, but a slight difference in this step 1. There also oxidation is happening, but the oxidation is having some sort of change. The product obtained is having some different. There's a byproduct form which is known as hydrogen peroxide. So that's a characteristic feature of the peroxisomal chain oxidation. Okay, so peroxisomes contain the flavoprotein dehydrogenase fatty acyl CoA dehydrogenase enzyme, which is having the capacity to produce hydrogen peroxide. Right, and the second step is the hydration. So the dehydrogenation happens with the introduction of a double bond between the alpha and the beta carbon atom, and this is followed by the removal of the double bond by the incorporation of one molecule of water, that is by hydratase enzyme. The same thing which is happening in the usual mitochondrial beta oxidation, right? So mitochondrial beta oxidation, the same sequence of reactions happens in the peroxisomes also, but instead of the FADH2 entering into the electron transport chain, here the FADH2 releases the protons to molecular oxygen, because peroxides contains large number of molecular oxygen. So this molecular oxygen will take up the protons so that hydrogen peroxide will be formed. This hydrogen peroxide being highly reactive, it will be converted into water and nascent oxygen, or water or oxygen atom, with the help of an enzyme known as peroxisomal catalase enzyme. That's the only difference between peroxisomal beta oxidation and mitochondrial beta oxidation. Right, so that is the first step of dehydration. This is followed by incorporation of water molecule, so that the double bond is cleaved and OH is introduced on the third carbon atom. Then again the second round of oxidation happens, so that OH is replaced with a keto group, so that the hydrogen atoms will be released, H. Okay, so that one H from the OH and the other H from the carbon atom itself, so that a double bond is established between the carbon and the oxygen. The third carbon atom, C double bond O, COH will be converted into C double bond O, right? CHOH will be converted into C double bond O. Then it is again undergoing what? The last triolytic cleavage, so that the chain length is reduced by 2, right? So that 2 carbon atoms release in the form of acetyl CoA. And again the next round of beta oxidation, peroxisomal beta oxidation happens. Again the process will be repeated till the chain length is reduced to 8. But 20 carbon compound anengil, 20 carbon fatty acid anengil, the 20 carbon fatty acid will be reduced to C8 fatty acid, and that is known as octanoic acid or octanoyl CoA. Now this octanoyl CoA cannot be processed by the peroxisomal enzymes. So what happens? This octanoyl CoA comes out into the cytoplasm and enters into the mitochondria without the help of carnitine itself, because it's a short chain fatty acid or a medium chain fatty acid. So it do not require the help of the carnitine. So what happens? It simply diffuses the inner mitochondrial membrane and will be subject for the normal mitochondrial beta oxidation. So again there are cycles, 3 rounds of beta oxidation happens, and 4 molecules of acetyl CoA will be formed, and completely it is disrupted to give rise to acetyl CoA molecules. Clear? So that is the peroxisomal chain oxidation. Now I'll explain. Peroxisomes contain a flavoprotein dehydrogenase enzyme, which transfers the electrons to the oxygen producing hydrogen peroxide. So from where do you get the hydrogen atoms? The hydrogen atoms are obtained from the FADH2 formed in the reaction by fatty acyl CoA dehydrogenase enzyme. Yeah, so that is the thing. Then this is FADH2 converts FADH2 back to FAD with the release of protons to oxygen, so that hydrogen peroxide is formed. And what happens to the hydrogen peroxide then? Hydrogen peroxide is highly reactive, it's highly unstable. You know that, no? Because have you seen hydrogen peroxide? We brown bottle cap air exposure maximum because hydrogen peroxide is highly unstable in nature. For example, you will be using nail polish, right? Nail polish. So how will you remove this nail polish? Nail polishes are removed with the help of acetone. Nail polish remover acetone organic compound. Suppose acetone you can easily remove your nail polish with the help of hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide using hydrogen peroxide can also act as a nail polish remover. Acetone nail polish remover cap darkly because it contains hydrogen peroxide. Immediately vaporize it will be what converted into water. Remover cap right? So hydrogen, similarly in the case of cells also, this hydrogen peroxide undergoes conversion to give rise to water and nascent oxygen or oxygen atom, and this is carried out by an enzyme known as peroxisomal catalase. This enzyme you can see only in the peroxisomes. Very reactive, very potent, very strong enzyme. Clear? So it is needed to convert the hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. Now the remaining steps are same as that of mitochondrial beta oxidation. I am not repeating it. Okay. The same reactions. See, this is the first step. That is, this is our very long chain fatty acid, fatty acyl CoA. Right? So very long. First step activation. Activation is carried out by thiokinases or acyl CoA synthetases. Now, 4 different types of synthetases are there, which are specifically for short chain fatty acids, medium chain fatty acids, long chain fatty acids, and very long chain fatty acids. But very long chain fatty acids, when they enter into peroxisomal oxidation, they have to be first activated, and that activation is carried out by very long chain fatty acyl CoA synthetases. Now, they utilize ATP. Clear? ATP will be converted into AMP and 2 molecules of inorganic phosphate, so that fatty acid is converted to fatty acyl CoA. So difference lies only in the enzyme, specificity of the enzyme. Long chain fatty acid palmitoyl CoA synthetase use here use very long chain fatty acyl CoA synthetase. Palmitoyl CoA synthetase very long chain fatty acid very long chain fatty acid CoA agate maatan pattilla. Adondana 4 different specificities illa enzymes undennu parayan. Pinne of course short chain avashilla, medium chain thiokinase, long chain thiokinase, very long chain thiokinase, and arachidonyl CoA. Arachidonic acid ne maatunana arachidonic synthetase. Arachidonic acid synthetase. Adinte importance I'll teach you later. Okay. So the very long chain fatty acid is first converted into very long chain fatty acyl CoA. Now this is first entering into the oxidation reaction in the peroxide by the enzyme acyl CoA dehydrogenase, which is a flavor protein, FAD dependent enzyme. So that FAD is converted into FADH2. Now FADH2, instead of entering into the electron transport chain, about 2 ATP korayum. Clear? We energetics nokumbo. Peroxome function ATP production alla. Mariche avada stress very long chain fatty acid long chain fatty acid convert the main thing, the primary importance. FADH2 is not converted or it's entering into electron transport chain. Instead, the hydrogen produced is reacting with molecular oxygen to give rise to hydrogen peroxide, so that FADH2 is converted back into FAD. Now this hydrogen peroxide is acted upon by peroxisomal catalase enzyme, so that water and half O2 is it's oxygen atom. O2 is molecular oxygen. But half O2 is O. 2 and 2 cancel the O. Oxygen atom. To give rise to it is converted. The double bond is introduced between the second and the third carbon atom, or the alpha and the beta carbon atom. Then it is acted upon by water molecule, by hydratase enzyme. Now, OH here incorporate second next step NAD dependent oxidation. ECOH. The EH already in CH 1, 2, 3, 4. അപ്പൊ ഈ എച്ചും ഇത് ബ്രേക്ക് ചെയ്ത് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുള്ള എച്ചും ഒ എച്ച് വരുമ്പോ ഒരു എച്ച് ഇങ്ങോട്ടും പോകും, ഒരു എച്ച് ഇങ്ങോട്ടും പോകും, അതാ ഉണ്ടാവും. അപ്പൊ ഈ COH is converted into C double bond O. Clear? So that a new keto group is introduced and is further undergoing thiolytic cleavage, so that what happens? CH3CO SCOA e molecule ang po. So that bond is broken between the alpha and the beta carbon atom. So CH3 C double bond O, but the two molecules are released in the form of acetyl CoA, and the remaining fatty acyl CoA will be having only a chain length with 2 carbon atom less than the parent carbon atom, the parent fatty acid. Okay, now it is continued, it is repeated in the peroxisomes itself till octanoyl CoA C8 avana vare idu continue cheyum. Once the C8 octanoyl fatty acid is formed, fatty acyl CoA is formed, it comes out into the cytoplasm and enters into the mitochondria, and what happens, their mitochondrial beta oxidation is repeated. Clear? Now what are the importance? Peroxisomal reactions include shortening of the very long chain fatty acids. Otherwise, dicarboxylic acid. That is, if fatty acid is having 2 carboxyl group, then we call it as dicarboxylic acid. Otherwise, convert cholesterol to bile acids and formation of ether lipids. So, cholesterol, bile indavunathu cholesterol ennaanu, bile salt indavunathu. And absorption il paranju thanniru. So, that is happening in the peroxisomal reaction. Peroxisomes agathana adakku nadakka. It's not through peroxisomal oxidation, പക്ഷേ peroxisomes ന്റെ function അതാണ്. Congenital absence of these enzymes, peroxisomes ലുള്ള ഈ enzymes ന്റെ, അതായത് mainly എന്താണ് first enzyme, fatty acyl CoA dehydrogenase, peroxisomal fatty acyl CoA dehydrogenase enzyme. Defect peroxisomes ലുള്ള enzymes defect, അത് ഏതും ആയിക്കോട്ടെ, peroxisomal fatty acyl dehydrogenase ആവാം, അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ hydratase enzyme ആവാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ NAD dependent dehydrogenase ആവാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ thiolase ആവാം. ഇതിൽ ഏതെങ്കിലും enzyme defect വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ what happens? Peroxisomal oxidation അവിടെ നടക്കില്ല. അങ്ങനെ നടക്കാതെ വരുമ്പോൾ വരുന്ന കണ്ടീഷനെയാണ് we call it as Zellweger's syndrome. Zellweger syndrome. It is arising due to the absence of peroxisomal enzymes, and hence the fatty acid, very long chain fatty acids cannot be transported into peroxisomes. Peroxisomes like transport idalum, they cannot be oxidized, so it will be remaining there only. So it's a genetic disorder. Clear? Other disorders, Zellweger syndrome, it's also known as cerebrohepatorenal syndrome. It's a very rare disorder presenting at birth and reduction or absence due to the absence of peroxisomes in the absence avam, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ peroxisomal enzymes in the absence avam. Clear? And the main symptoms are vision disturbance, prenatal growth failure, lack of muscle tone, unusual facial characteristics, mental retardations, seizures, and inability to suck and or swallow. കുട്ടിക്ക് വിഴുങ്ങാനോ സക്ക് ചെയ്യാനോ ഉള്ള കപ്പാസിറ്റി ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. കാരണം ന്യൂ ബോൺ ബേബീസിനൊക്കെ സക്ക് ചെയ്താലാണ് മിൽക്ക് കിട്ടുക, അല്ലെ? അപ്പൊ സക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ കുട്ടിക്ക് അറിയില്ല, ബിക്കോസ് ബ്രെയിൻ ഇസ് നോട്ട് ഡെവലപ്ഡ്. ബ്രെയിൻ ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് അവിടെ നടക്കില്ല. എവിടെ ബ്രെയിൻ ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് നടക്കാതെ എവിടെ അവിടെയൊക്കെ എന്തുണ്ടാവും? മെന്റൽ റിട്ടാർഡേഷൻ will be occurring, right? So there will be an abnormally high levels of VLCFA, which are the diagnosis. ഇതാണ് നമ്മൾ ഡയഗ്നോസ് ചെയ്യുക. സെൽവേഗസ് ആണോ എന്ന് നോക്കാനായിട്ട് VLCFA ആണോ സർക്കുലേഷനിൽ വെരി ലോങ് ചെയിൻ ഫാറ്റി ആസിഡ് ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് നോക്കിയാൽ മതി. ക്ലിയർ? ആൻഡ് അഗൈൻ ദർ ഇസ് നോ ക്യൂർ, കാരണം ജനറ്റിക് ഡിഫക്റ്റ് ആണ്. അതുപോലെ സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് കോഴ്സ് ഓഫ് ട്രീറ്റ്മെന്റും ഇതിനില്ല. കാരണം most infants do not survive the first 6 months. And മിക്കവാറും കുട്ടിക്ക് റെസ്പിറേറ്ററി ഡിസോർഡേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും, ഗ്യാസ്ട്രോഇന്റെസ്റ്റിനൽ ബ്ലീഡിംഗ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലിവർ ഫെയിലിയർ വെച്ചിട്ട് കുട്ടിയുടെ ഡെത്ത് ആയി പോകും. ക്ലിയർ? സോ ഇറ്റ്സ് എ വെരി എന്താ പറയാ വെരി പാത്തറ്റിക് കണ്ടീഷൻ which is arising due to the absence of complete സെല്ലിനകത്ത് പെറോക്സിസോംസ് ഉണ്ടാവില്ല, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പെറോക്സിസോമൽ എൻസൈംസിന്റെ ഡെഫിഷ്യൻസി ഉണ്ടാവും. ഇത് രണ്ട് കാരണം കൊണ്ട് സെൽവേഗർ സിൻഡ്രോം വരാം. പിന്നെ another condition is Brown-Schilder's disease. അതിന് വേറൊരു പേരും കൂടി പറയും, adrenoleukodystrophy or Brown-Schilder's disease. It is caused due to the deficiency of peroxisomal matrixലുള്ള enzymes. അപ്പൊ ഓക്സിഡേഷൻ നടക്കില്ല. The child will be dying due to the bile acids, impaired synthesis of bile acids, plasminogen, and the baby will be dying during the first decade of life. 10 വയസ്സിനുള്ളിൽ കുട്ടി ഡെത്ത് ആയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. Clear? These are the two conditions related to peroxisomal oxidation. Zellweger syndrome, which is very much important. Another one is adrenoleukodystrophy, ALD, or it is also known as Brown-Schilder's disease. അവിടെ ALD യിലെ adrenoleucotriene